Hi guys, and welcome to Geri Reviews and to the first ever Xena Princess talk show. So, I decided to call the show Xena Princess, or no, wait. I will call it Geri Xena Talk. No, or Geri Xena Talk Show. Okay, let's go with that one for now. So, for those of you guys who haven't watched my channel update video, this will be my every week Xena talk show, in which I'm going to be discussing every episode of Xena that there ever was. I'm going to be remembering and just go through each episode so you as Xena fans and I can experience in some way and can feel once again connected to Xena, and of course just to remember why the show is just the best that ever was and that maybe the best that ever will be, and why we loved this show so much. And seeing that there are so much shows now that are just everywhere, and it's not like before when one or two shows kind of stood out more. There are lots and lots of shows that people watch right now. Lots of shows are famous, they're getting a lot of views, but they're just like to satisfy our urge for entertainment, and they're not so much about real feelings and about telling a story that will last through the years like Xena is. So in my talk show we are going to celebrate Xena in each and every episode. We are going to discuss why it's special, and of course we will just geek out, like someone will say, and just talk about how Xena is super awesome and how she is the best and what she's given us through all the years and why we're still her fans and why she means so much to us and what makes her so special. So first of all, why am I wearing glasses, you may ask? Well, the lights are not very okay with me, and I'm filming this kind of late, so I'm not feeling so good these days. That's why I'm so late with this. I was supposed to start the show the previous week, last week, but I couldn't because I didn't feel very well. But anyway, the glasses are just for the first time, I think. So let's begin. ever Xena episode. Well, if you saw the Xena trilogy before this, and as Xena fans, you may have, of course, and you must have seen the Xena trilogy, you will know that Xena started as a villain in Hercules. She was supposed to kill Hercules so she could establish her name, power in front of her army and in front of her men, generally speaking. But of course, because a lot of things happened, she changed. She didn't kill Hercules. She could have. She was very, very close to killing him, but she didn't succeed. Of course, because that was the Hercules show. And after these 3 episodes that once again they are called the Xena trilogy, Xena was so successful in Hercules that they just decided to create her own show, and that is what happened. Luckily for us, and eventually Xena Warrior Princess as a show surpassed Hercules in ratings and in number of episodes. Actually, both shows are 6 seasons, but Xena has more episodes. And anyway, so this first episode will be all about the first episode. So in the first episode, we see Xena that is just riding on her horse on the countryside, and she stops by kind of burned down house, and she sees a kid, and Xena asks this kid what has happened, and the kid says that Xena Warrior Princess came down with fire, with chariots. She was fire breathing, and she killed both his parents and everything. And because Xena is feeling very guilty at that time, she gives the kid the food that she carries, and so on. Of course, Xena didn't came down with chariots, didn't kill that kid's parents, but the idea of this moment is that Xena is so popular from her evil past that even kids tell stories of her supernatural abilities that she doesn't have, and her image is so frightening, it's so scary to all people. So when Xena sees this kid and hears what he has to say, she just, although she tells him that food is scarce everywhere, she just throws the bag with the food. So the kid is very happy because he told a fictional story, and this woman gave him her food, but that is actually the real Xena there. But anyway, that moment that the episode starts with is very interesting, and of course before that Xena rides a little bit and we get to see her dark past, some scenes from the Hercules trilogy and so on. Then of course the moment that she meets Gabriel. Well, this also is very interesting moment because Xena wants to forget her past. She just starts to bury her armor, her chakram, her sword, but then she sees these girls and villagers that are being attacked by marauders, by Drago's men, and Drago is a warlord, but I will get to him later. And of course Xena sees the moment that she just has to help these people, and she didn't realize at this moment, I think, that is what she is supposed to do. She just don't know. But this moment is like in life when you are wondering what to do with your life, and all of a sudden something happens, and it's just the answer is right in front of you, and you know that you just have to take this road, and this is your path. So Xena, of course, saves Gabriel, saves her sister and other villagers, and she finds out by the clothes and the scarves that the warriors are wearing that those are Dragomen. So she comes to Drago, and of course before this she meets with Gabriel, Gabriel immediately wants to be with Xena, and she tells Xena to take her with her, and Xena of course says no, because this is a little girl, why she's doing with me. But this is really interesting again, because exactly how Xena did see what is she supposed to do with her life, the same exact example, Gabriel sees what she is supposed to do with her life, because up till then, before she sees Xena, Gabriel is feeling just stuck in her town, stuck with Spartacus, the man that she's supposed to marry, and she's just constantly bossed by her father. And the way that they show all this in just 2 or 3 scenes, we get to fully realize and see how Gabriel's life is when she's with her family, and how Gabriel wants to do different things with her life, wants to be her own boss. And when she sees Xena, that is her one true and perfect possibility of her to be free and to do something heroic and something bigger with her life than just marry, have children, and the circle of life just repeating and repeating itself. She didn't want that, she wanted more. And by more, of course, I mean that life with Xena would be something different, and instead of having kids, she will save a lot of other kids, mothers, families, and give them a chance of life. If she comes with Xena, a chance to learn something, and so on. So this is very, very important and key moment that Xena was shown what she's supposed to do with her life. To Gabriel was shown exactly the same thing, that she was supposed to go with Xena, but Gabriel is more insightful. So she just jumped at Xena at this opportunity, while Xena still didn't know what to do with her life. And of course it's super understandable, because all her life, after she was a teenager, her village was attacked, her little brother was killed. She did nothing than to take other villages, first for protection, but then to really take them, to take what they have, then after that to kill people, of course never women and children. She did have some principles, but Xena was just lost in her lust for revenge, and eventually that turned out to lust for power, and so on. So her confusion and not awareness immediately of what she has to do is understandable here. So I mean that this episode, it seems very simple, but it's really deep, and there are very thin lines here and there that you just have to get into to feel. And you can watch this episode, of course, time and time again. It's not so good as the other episodes, but you can watch it a lot of time and just feel this first connection that Xena and Gabriel make. And of course this is not where this connection stops. So after this, of course, after Gabriel talks to Xena, Xena of course didn't want to take her. Then Xena goes to Drago, and Drago of course is presented like super smart and charismatic warlord, knows what he's doing, he's very good warrior, not as good as Xena, but he knows what he's doing, and he's very confident. He just makes it seem like he will leave Xena and these villagers, Gabriel's village, alone, but then he decides to came after Xena's village. So he can prove to Xena that no one will welcome her, no one will give her redemption, and no one will forgive her for what she's done. And of course Xena returns to Amphipolis. Her mother doesn't want to see her, and they think that Xena is still evil, of course. So Xena here has a lot of proving herself to do. And Gabriel, And Gabriel just very persistent. Xena didn't take her, so she decided to lay down on the road till someone came by, and some grandfather came by, and some old guy came by, and of course Gabriel could talk her way out of anything and into anything, so he decided to take her to the road to Amphipolis. Before that, there was a Cyclops that Gabriel also tricked to letting her go, because she promised him that she will kill Xena, because Xena blinded that Cyclops, and earlier Xena also encountered the Cyclops and told him a lot of smart things which he can do with his life instead of killing people. But of course he hated Xena for what she's done to him, so he didn't listen. But anyway, so Drago wants to attack Amphipolis, and he does so that everyone will know that that army of Xena is coming to attack Amphipolis and not him particularly. So the villagers now want to kill Xena with rocks. And what Gabriel do? She comes into the right moment to talk to the villagers not to kill Xena, and if they kill Xena, maybe Drago will be so angry because maybe she is his girlfriend. So Gabriel does very smart thing here, and of course saves Xena. Not that Xena couldn't kill everyone, but that was not her intention. After all, she wants to prove that she's a better person now. So Xena was ready to die, but she didn't expect such cruelty from the villagers. But let's just skip to the super key moments. Everything is key in this episode. If you think about it, every moment that is presented is interesting. And how Xena tracked Drago's general that she first encountered when she saved Gabriel's village and the people. How she eliminated one by one everyone that followed her on a horse, and she kicked them from their horses one by one, and in the end she was the only one standing behind this general. And when she asked, "What do you think?" she said, "I think you have a sore tooth." So that was super funny, and they showed that Xena is super smart, super skilled, and she could do anything, trick anyone, and just make them look like fools. She thinks 2 or 3 or more steps ahead, and they just did Xena a very good justice in this first episode, although she was kinda confused, kinda weak inside, still not very feet on the ground solid, but she was what she was supposed to be in that first episode. Consider everything that she's been through, so I'm very pleased with this also. And of course, after Xena is saved by Gabriel for the first time, so we have 2 things also, that that Xena saves Gabriel for the first time, and Gabriel saves Xena for the first time. That is not very often that we get to see, but this episode really puts everything together as a beginning. And if you think once again like you would have think in life, how things happen in life, this is kind of very, very telling and very, very true in big way. We get to see Xena come to her brother's grave, Lysias, that is of course her brother's name, and she says that it's very hard to be alone, and she wishes that he was here, and she hopes that he understands her and he believes in her. And Xena says that she is feeling so alone, and Gabriel comes from behind her and says, "You're not alone." And so this is also super touching and interesting, because here's a girl that Xena doesn't know, and this girl doesn't know Xena, but destiny has literally brought them together in the time of need. Xena needed a person like Gabrielle to make her find her way, to be her balance, her heart, in a way, in a big way. And Gabrielle needs a role model. She needs someone to teach her, and someone to be with that is strong, powerful, and as a woman, and of course Gabrielle is a woman, that is very important to be also a woman, because Xena has seen a lot, she's been through a lot more than most people, just a lot more for her age, really. And so of course Xena fights with Drago, saves the day. He didn't prove anything. The villagers of Amphipolis forgave Xena, and they welcomed her. Her mother forgave her and welcomed her eventually when she defeated Drago and proved that she didn't wanted to attack them. The army that was rumored to be hers in the mountains are not hers, is Drago's. And at the end, of course, she left, and as she was making fire, Gabrielle appeared once again. And Gabrielle also did one other thing when Xena was fighting Drago. She helped Xena when one of Drago's men wanted to sabotage the fight. But that's just one of the things. It just shows that Gabrielle was super determined to make something of herself, to be with Xena, to go on this journey, to be someone different. She knew what she wanted and she took the chance. And so, as was Xena making fire, Gabrielle came, and she also said something very interesting that made Xena want to take Gabrielle with her. Gabrielle said, you don't know what it's like to be a girl in a village and to be like everyone else, pretty much, she said. That is also what Xena could relate to, because she was expected to be a normal person also when she was younger. And so Xena definitely could relate to how Gabrielle was feeling and what Gabrielle wanted to do with her life. And Xena realized that Gabrielle might just be that person that she needs at that time. So they went together on this journey, and that's how everything began, and that's how the story of the good Xena really started. Because truly, the moment that those two met is amazing. It's just one of a kind in all movies and TV shows ever. So tell me what you think about this first episode. Did you remember it? Now that I discussed it, how did you feel about this first episode overall? You can tell me some pointers if you like. I'm going to develop it, of course. I'm going to try to make it better. This is a pilot about Xena's pilot, so to speak. So we are going to discuss the rest of the characters, their relationship with each other and everything later on. So I'm not going to talk about the whole show and what I think about Xena's relationship with men and other stuff like this. No, this is all about this first amazing and deep in his roots episode. So guys, thank you very much for watching. Oh, and of course don't forget to vote Gabrielle for the best psychic on halfpricebooks.com. I think it was. I will leave a link down below. So guys, thank you very much for watching. Subscribe if you'd like to see more of my future videos, and of course the Xena Talk Show. Until next time with Geri G reviews. And of course, battle on, Xena.